So Dean family, Dean Nation. Today we're doing a Dan Calloway reaction to the untold truth about the little engine that could. I always heard about the little engine that could, and we're gonna hear about it. The history, untold truth about it. So if you're new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe, and share that video on all social medias. Comment below or reaction on this and check out the original video in the description box below. Check out the Dean TV clothes merch. Go copy some here and drip and show your boys some support and love, you feel me? And go cop some, you feel me? Go get you some drip and drip too hard and catch this wave, you feel me? Huh. And no further ado, let's get into this reaction.
People often learn about the country's history from individuals whose ancestors were relatively recent arrivals. These newcomers eventually became residents due to laws enacted by the government at that time, designed to provide their ancestors with a stable economic foundation.
So, something like the migrants, immigrants, or something like what's going on now, but different. But legalizing it. But now it's like a process.
The newcomers were taught folk tales about the original inhabitants of America. This instruction aimed to help answer the questions from newly arriving migrants about the indigenous people who had lived in America long before the introduction of the Gregorian calendar, which established a system of dates and labels for days. These indigenous people existed well before the migrants began arriving in the area of the Massachusetts people, which was later referred to by outsiders as the colony of Plymouth, or Plymouth Colony, now known as Boston, Massachusetts. Our forefathers...
Like Malcolm, how about I say, and they pull up Malcolm X, I about to say Clinton Rock and land on us. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock land on us. Yes, I think that's how you
say it. We're the Pilgrims. we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. The rock was landed on us.
Yeah.
This video will explain the true story of the little engine that could, and why it is still taught to children today. Understanding this story is essential because the original version has been altered to align with the narrative of certain migrants. As a result, significant aspects of the story has been omitted, obstructing the truth about what actually happened.
Hey, if you live in one of these cities right here, why don't you own an apartment building? Seriously, let me show you a path that could absolutely change.
Produced by Dane Calloway and Tanisha Calloway. Watch this brand new documentary, Mother Rosa, right now at DaneMakeYouThink.com.
Now, many of my viewers are familiar with the story of the little engine that could. However, it is essential to highlight the claims regarding its origins. Some people assert that the story originated from Waddy Piper in 1930. However, Waddy Piper is the pen name of author Arnold Monk.
Wow.
Monk was an immigrant from Hungary, which is located in Central Eurasia. He moved to the United States with his family as a child and grew up in Chicago, Illinois in the early 1900s. It was said that Monk discovered his passion for books at the age of 14 while working as an errand boy in a Chicago bookstore for $2.50 per week.
Well, damn, that ain't
shit. In 1921, he helped establish the Platt
$2.50 a week, bruh.
Company.
What the fuck? Ain't no way. Then again, cost of living probably was nothing. Shit, paying for a house is probably nothing. You probably got that shit for free. The fuck? What the hell?
Where he wrote and published several children's books. Among his works is The Little Engine That Could, which was released in 1930. Now, it is important to note that Arnold Monk noted in his version of the story that he is not the original author. He describes his rendition as a retold version of a folktale titled The Pony Engine, which was said to be originally written by Mabel Bragg in 1916. In later years, it was discovered that Mary C. Jacobs authored another version of the story, The Pony Engine, which was published in the Kindergarten Review in 1910. It's important to mention that all three authors have denied claiming to be the originators of the tale. Since 1906, various authors have published many different versions of this tale. This has led to disputes between publishing companies, with some suing each other for copyright infringement. However, all have claimed not to be the originators of the folklore. Now, some would claim that the story originated in Sweden, and some would say that the New York Tribune reportedly published a version of the story, which was based on an article attributed to a sermon given by Reverend Charles S. Wing at the Nostrand Avenue Methodist Episcopal Church in Brooklyn on April 8, 1906. It was said that this sermon followed the church's celebration of paying off its mortgage after many years. This is important because this reverend was not verified as the story's original source. He did hear it from someone else, just like everyone else. However, his version is a bit different. Now, since it is the oldest of them all and can be partially verified, I would like to play it for you for a few essential reasons, which I'll explain afterwards.
In a certain railroad yard, there stood an extremely heavy train that had to be drawn up an unusually heavy grade before it could reach its destination. The superintendent of the yard was not sure what it was best for him to do, so he went up to a large, strong engine and asked, "Can you pull that train over the hill?" "It is a very heavy train," responded the engine. He then went to another great engine and asked, "Can you pull that train over the hill?" "It is a very heavy grade," it replied. The superintendent was much puzzled, but he turned to still another engine that was spick and span new, and he asked it, "Can you pull that train over the hill?"
So it basically seemed like if you can't go to somebody to get benefit and get what you want, you go to somebody else or try to go to the next person, next person, next person, and to listen to the little engine that could. So it's kind of fucked up. They see like using them motherfuckers to the basic work ain't nothing. It's kind of fucked up, but that's how a lot of people operate nowadays, especially in society nowadays. This society nowadays is fucked up. And motherfuckers just fucked up nowadays in society, so we just fucked.
"I think I can," responded the engine. So the order was circulated, and the engine was started back so that it might be coupled with the train. And as it went along the rails, it kept repeating to itself, "I think I can. I think I can. I think I can." The coupling was made, and the engine began its journey. And all along the level, as it rolled toward the ascent, it kept repeating to itself, "I think I can. I think I can." Then it reached the grade, but its voice could still be heard. "I think I can. I think I can." Higher and higher it climbed, and its voice grew fainter and its words came slower. "I think I can." It was almost to the top. "I think it was at the top. I can." It passed over the top of the hill and began crawling down the opposite slope. "I think I can. I thought I..."
This shit sounds sad, seeing sad and sad and sounds sad and sad. Like, what the fuck? Yo, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. Nigga, if you can't, nigga, just stop. You pushing yourself to the limit. Like, what the fuck, nigga? Pause. Like, pineapples, nigga, you need a break, nigga. You need some milk, nigga. You need some WD-40. I think it's a trend. You need some injurated food. The fuck? I don't know.
I thought I could. I thought I could. I thought I could. I thought I could. And singing its triumph, it rushed on down toward the valley.
Now, this audio of Reverend Charles Wing's version of the story doesn't sound as good as the other versions published in later years. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Keep in mind that he is
It's
a
sad.
church minister, and sermons are usually given to adults rather than children. So, why would this be considered a children's story in the first place? This question will be answered, but first, I'm going to play a consolidated 1950s version of The Little Engine That Could story that was created to target an audience of children. Now, I want you to pay close attention to how the tale was altered to fit a particular narrative.
Once, there was a little train of cars. She was flying merrily across the country with a
Wait, what? She said he was blind.
To fit a particular narrative.
once, there was a little train of cars. She was flying merrily across the country.
How the fuck is a train blind? And if a train blind, how the fuck is it traveling? If a train traveling and it's blind, that means it's hitting all type of shit. It's crashing. It's flying on final destination shit, first and foremost. So, what the fuck? How the fuck? Explain yourself. I need questions. What the hell? Now.
With a load of toys for the children who lived way over on the other side of the mountain. She was such a happy little train of cars, so pleased with the load of toys she was carrying. But all of a sudden, right at the foot of the mountain, puff!
So I can get it out. Oh, I need some Gatorade. Ooh, cuz I need my life alert. Train said I need life alert now. Train said, oh, boop. The train Gatorade symbol was beeping. Like, what the hell?
The engine broke down. The wheels slid along a little farther with a shrieking, wailing cry. And then stood perfectly still. Now, how was the train to cross the mountain and get her toys over there to the children? As the little train stood there, hoping for help, along toward her came a great, strong engine. All finely cleaned up and black, with his number plate scoured and shining. He had just finished his work of pulling a fine long passenger train, and he was on his way back to the roundhouse now, puffing and blowing with pride. Oh, big engine, cried the train. Will you please take us over the mountain? Will you help us? But the big passenger engine puffed and snorted and blew off steam angrily. It's not my business to pull such a little nobody as you, he roared. I pull much
What, damn, that train
bigger
is
trains
faithful.
than you. There came along a
I want to ride that train. What the hell? That train just went like, fuck you, train.
dingy and rusty and dusty, and he didn't
Man,
pump
that
at
train
all.
fucked up.
He just
That train should just nothing. What the hell? That,
But the little
yeah.
train called out to him. Oh, engine, will you please take us over the mountain? Our engine is broken down, and we're loaded with toys for the children on the other side. Will you help us? I never could pull you over the mountain. I haven't the strength.
See, this is what the train should have did. The train should have did one at a time. Should have said drop off like Lyft or Uber Eats. The fuck, one at a time, motherfucker, one at a time. Like, I cannot take this much too much capacity. You feel me? So please, one at a time. One at a time. One at a time.
I never could. 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 engine for help. Yet the little small engine had such a bright and happy look, and she was humming and hurrying along, whistling and ringing her bell in the very liveliest fashion. So the little train cried out, "Little engine, could you take us over the mountain? Our engine is broken down, and we're
Oh, poor train.
loaded with toys for the children on the other side. Can you help us? Help us? Help us?" Now, the little small engine had never been far away from the freight yard, where she had spent all her days in switching. But she did not mean to let those children go without their toys if she could possibly help it. So she answered, "I think I can. I think I can. I think I can." Then she came straight up to the train, caught hold of her, and began to tug and pull. Pretty soon, the train of cars began to move. Slowly, slowly. And the little small engine, as she toiled, kept puffing, "I think I can. I think I can." Slowly, steadily, she gained speed. "I think I can. I think I can. I think I can." Now she ran steadily up the track. "I think I can. I 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 think I can." At last she reached the top of the mountain. And then she popped out joyously. "I thought I could." There below on the other side lay a great big city. The city where the children lived to whom she was carrying the toys. Down she started, rolling faster, faster, faster. And as she went, she sang merrily, "I thought I could, I thought I could. I thought I could, I thought I could. I thought I could, I thought I could. I thought
What the fuck? This shit sound funny as fuck. I thought I could. I thought I could. No, I thought I could. Oh, shit, I'm fucked. No.
I could, I thought I could."
At this moment, this train, the little engine that thought it could, knew it fucked up.
I thought I could, I thought I could. And so the children got their toys.
Many people believe that the central message of the story revolves around how individuals can motivate themselves to achieve challenging goals, no matter the difficulty.
That don't sound like
However,
it. That
a
motherfucker
less
said, "I can't
emphasized
do this
aspect
shit," and
is
put
how
that
the
motherfucker
main
pushes
character,
work to do the
or
shit.
the little engine in this case, has accepted authority and submitted to being controlled. The adult version that the Reverend preached, published in 1906, featured a superintendent as the authority figure. In contrast, the children's version, which began publication in the 1910s, portrayed the little engine as assisting someone in need. This portrayal suggests that even when working for someone, like a person of authority, you are helping them and their company. This holds true even if you take on
Facts.
duties beyond what was originally expected of you or after completing your primary responsibilities. The story's
That's true.
main character, the little engine, is depicted as small in size. This creates the impression that those in control hold higher positions of authority over those who work the hardest. Like many American folktales from the past,
Damn, that shit run deep then. Damn. I don't think about that shit like that deep. That shit Deep as fuck. God damn. The London engine that could basically shows that how in America you always gonna have somebody running you. Like basically you gonna be ran by a corporation. Like you gonna be having a time when it's, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. When you don't want to do some shit, but you still doing that shit. You feel me? That shit crazy.
This story has been altered from its original sources to obstruct the discrimination and racism that historically existed between immigrants and the indigenous people of America. And here's what I mean by that.
Hey, orange property surrounding areas
I
where you
want to see
deal
why
with
the
headaches,
indigenous people
migraines,
of
neck
America.
pain,
I'm
low back pain,
indigenous myself.
numbness, tingling, sciatic.
The little, here's what I mean by that. The little engine personification of the story represents the indigenous people of America, who were once known as engines. You will find that the term engine is defined as the original 17th century mispronunciation.
Wait, what the fuck? Engine. The original 15th century misconducting of Indian general considered offensive today used to mock our originally Native American or early settled who heavily it's in English. Wow, honest engine. The word and relates term have been defined as derogatory by indigenous. Damn, that's fucked up. On Sunday the other day.
Of Indian, generally considered offensive today, used to mock or impersonate Native Americans or early settlers supposed heavily accented English. The word and related terms have been defined as derogatory by indigenous peoples. End quote. Now, there are a few discrepancies with this later revised definition. First, the term Native American was never officially used to describe the indigenous people of America, mainly since it originated from the third largest political party, known as the Native American Party. This party was composed of immigrants who had recently come to America and believed their voices deserved to be heard, regardless of their religious beliefs. For more details on this topic, check out my video titled Why the First Americans Were Not Native Americans.
That's like a movie.
I'll link that video above and in the description box below. With the use of the term Native American, it is clear that the definition of engine has recently changed, or rather, has been updated for political correctness, which isn't correct at all, because Native Americans are not the same people as American Indians or engines. The second discrepancy in this definition of engine is its claim that the term originated as a mispronunciation of Indian in the 17th century. This is not accurate because the term engine was not spelled with the letter J. In fact, the letter J did not exist in the English alphabet during the 17th century, despite common assumptions to the contrary. Keep in mind that I'm referring specifically to the English alphabet, not the invention of the letter J. For your homework, please find out when the letter J was incorporated into the English alphabet. Spoiler alert, it was not at the time of its invention. Okay? You can learn more about this topic in my video titled Curse of the King James Version Bible Revealed, which can be found under the recent uploads on my channel. The correct spelling of the term engine is I-N-G-E-N, engine, which is pronounced the same as the words engine, and engine, which is defined as a machine with moving parts that converts power into motion.
So it's like a human convert power into motion.
A machine with moving parts that converts power into motion. The engine is a representation of the junior offspring of those who are indigenous to this land. The command of engine is the aspect of ushering in the junior of a different family to be merged or inbred into another. This is done from a physical, spiritual, and financial dynamic. Notice how when you see the word engine, it is being shown in a cartoon or in some playful, joking manner, right? The whole idea is to take the engine and to make them an engine, which is, as I just stated, an inbred or a native, because to engine means to cause, to produce, or to form a family, progeny. At a deeper level, all of this is connected to the phrase engine or in generation, which means to propel and continue ongoingly. Generation is the continuous cycle of a family or race. Listen, to initiate this cycle, a form of transportation must be developed, both mentally and physically. For this reason, children were exposed to visuals of trains, planes, and automobiles at a young age.
Yeah.
This exposure was intended to prepare them mentally for the idea of movement, not just as a means of travel, but to encourage the possibility of one day leaving home. This was also displayed in songs for them to recite and chant out loud, as speaking words out loud has always been a factor in the motion of the body and forward momentum. It is this momentum that allows for the junior to be moved from their original position of work within their own family business and to either work on the progression of a particular form of transportation, as an example of this was shown through the expansion of the railroad, or it is used to help them travel away from home to go to work for someone else, using the engine, which is something that is constantly used to forward movement or rotation. The story of the little engine that could is often taught to children because it is easier to influence vulnerable young minds than the minds of adults. This method of instilling beliefs has had a significant impact on generations, particularly among the indigenous people of America, and it continues today. This situation sheds light on why the politically correct definition of the term engine has been changed to be considered an offensive mispronunciation of Indian. This alteration purposely obscures the true identity of the indigenous people of America, particularly in the context of the whitewashed history that is taught in compulsory schools and churches throughout the country, because it will force people to believe that the engine and the Indian not only carries a negative connotation by meaning, but it also forces people to think that the engine
I'm part Blackfoot.
or the Indian is the population of the inferior race. So, when the little engine chanted the command out loud,
I think I can.
followed by the negative affirmation,
I thought I could. I thought I could.
the story is telling the listeners that the little engine imagined succeeding, but once the engine's eyes were open, they realized that they were daydreaming, and it was all just their imagination.
Damn.
Just think about what that does to a child who doesn't see the manipulative hidden messages inside of these American folktales.
Yeah, then basically living in the reality of you think you can, and you got society you can't do something, and you live and trying to prove them wrong, and you end up doing stuff in the wrong manner, trying to prove them wrong, and fucking yourself up. You feel me?
Because it's not just this one that still lingers around the learning toddlers. In the future, they become adults, believing that they must respect authority or anybody with a title, class, or rank higher than theirs. even though they are the engines equipped with the moving parts. Inadvertently, accepting that type of indoctrination prevents their power from going into motion generationally. It's time for you to break that curse, not only for your ancestors' sake, but also for the next generations to come. That entity that you've been waiting for is you.
Hope you guys like that D Family D Nation. Like, comment, subscribe, and share the video on all social medias. Comment below, reaction to this. See you guys next time. Love you guys. I'm out. And go show Dan Calloway some love and tell him D sent you.